The average American household earns more today than at any point in history, yet 67% of us are living paycheck to paycheck. You aren't bad with money, you're the victim of a high-precision wealth extraction machine. Today, we are performing a forensic autopsy on 10 specific traps designed to bleed a six-figure salary dry. By the end of this video, you'll see the math they don't want you to calculate, and you'll have the boring, rich playbook to reclaim your liquidity. The math of 1995 no longer applies. Back then, a good salary bought you a house, 2 cars, and a retirement. In 2026, a good salary often buys you nothing more than a front-row seat to your own financial collapse. Most people are sleepwalking through their bank statements, assuming that if they just work harder or get one more promotion, the pressure will finally lift. It won't. You cannot out-earn a system that is designed to expand its extraction faster than your income can grow. We are going to stop guessing and start auditing. Let's start with autopsy number 1, the W-2 Mirage. If you just got a raise to $100,000, the system wants you to think you have $8,333 a month to spend. But let's look at the crime scene. Meet Sarah. Sarah earns $104,000 a year. On paper, she's winning. Her parents are proud, and she just moved into a luxury one-bedroom. But let's perform the audit. Uncle Sam takes $15,000 in federal tax. FICA takes $7,600. Your state takes $5,000. Your health insurance, which is basically a tax for the privilege of not going bankrupt, takes another $6,000. You haven't even paid rent yet, and $33,600 has already been extracted. Your $100,000 salary is actually a $66,000 survival budget. Sarah is living on roughly $2,500 a month after her $2,800 rent is paid. She isn't six-figure wealthy. She's functionally living on a 1998 entry-level salary while trying to maintain a 2026 boss babe aesthetic. The system depends on you spending based on the 100K number while living on the 66K reality. That gap? That's where credit card debt is born, and that's exactly where we're going next. Stop. Write down your gross pay. Now subtract 35%. That's your actual starting line. Does it feel smaller yet? Autopsy number 2, the 84-month prison. The average new car payment in 2026 is over $800, but the dealership won't tell you about the opportunity cost heist. They want you focused on the monthly payment because they know your brain can't easily calculate 15 years of lost compounding. If you take that $800 and put it into an 84-month loan at 7% interest, you pay roughly $67,000 for a $50,000 car. But here is the forensic truth. If you invested that $800 a month into the S&P 500 for those 7 years, instead of giving it to a bank, you'd have $88,000. If you let that $88,000 sit for another 20 years, that car didn't cost you $50,000. It just cost you $1.4 million in retirement wealth. You are buying a $70,000 costume to look like someone who doesn't have to worry about money, which is exactly what makes you someone who has to worry about money. The boring rich follow a different rule, the 24-10-10 car rule. 20% down, 4-year max loan, and keep your total transportation costs, insurance and gas included, under 10% of your take-home pay. Anything more is a voluntary transfer of your freedom to a corporate shareholder. Autopsy number 3, the equity myth. Renting is throwing money away. That's the lie the real estate industry sold you. In 2026, with interest rates at current levels, owning is often just renting from the bank with a higher maintenance bill. On a $450,000 home with 5% down, your monthly interest alone is more than a local rent payment for the first 10 years of the loan. You aren't building equity for the first decade. You are just a high-end tenant for the bank. When you add property taxes, HOA fees, and the physical laws of entropy, the fact that your roof will eventually fail and your HVAC will die, you realize that home ownership is systematically more expensive than anyone admits. Look at a 30-year amortization table. Look at how much interest you pay in month 1 versus month 300. Most of your wealth building is just bank profit for the first 15 years. If you can't afford a 30-year mortgage comfortably, a 50-year mortgage won't save you. It just turns your financial problems into your children's inheritance. Buy for utility, not for the investment status. If your mortgage is more than 28% of your net pay, the home owns you.
Autopsy number 4. The convenience siphon. DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub are not food services. They are wealth extraction algorithms. The economics are brutal. A $12 burger at the restaurant becomes $22 through the app. That is an 83% markup for the privilege of not driving 10 minutes. When you add the inflated menu prices, the delivery fee, the service fee, and the tip, you are paying a premium that would make a loan shark blush. This is the exhaustion tax. You work so hard to earn the money that you're too tired to cook the food. You are trading your future freedom for a lukewarm burrito. If you order delivery twice a week at a $15 premium per order, you are spending $1,560 a year on laziness. That money, invested properly, becomes $7,800 every single year you maintain the habit. The apps are designed to minimize friction and maximize ordering. Your only defense is a raw versus cooked reality check. Autopsy number 5. Subscription slavery. We have moved from an ownership economy to a rental economy. You don't own your music, your movies, or even your software anymore. You are paying for permission to exist in the digital world. Netflix, Disney+, Hulu, HBO Max, Spotify, iCloud, ChatGPT+, Amazon Prime, they aggregate into a $180 monthly leak. That's $2,100 a year. These companies fragment content to force multiple subscriptions. They are reconstructing the cable bundle they claimed to replace, except now you're paying separately for each piece. The boring rich rule is one in, one out. If you want a new streaming service, you must cancel an old one. Rotate through services sequentially rather than maintaining all of them simultaneously. The subscription economy wants you to think ownership is outdated, but ownership is how wealth is built. Renting your life is how it evaporates. Autopsy number 6. The Henry Trap. Henry stands for high earner, not rich yet. This is the $150,000 a year earner who is one bad Tuesday away from total collapse. The trap is lifestyle anchors. As your income goes up, your minimum standard for a car, a vacation, and a bottle of wine goes up too. Your expenses are tethered to your ego. You get a $20,000 raise, but your lifestyle costs go up by $21,000 because you deserved an upgrade. If you lost your job today, how many days could you survive? That's your real net worth. Not your car, not your LinkedIn title, your days of survival. High earners often feel the most pressure to perform wealth. They buy the luxury SUV to fit into the corporate parking lot. They live in the prestigious school district they can't afford to impress neighbors they don't like. Wealth is built in the silence between your income and your ego. If you can't be boring, you can't be rich. Autopsy number 7. The shadow portfolio. Your job is a venture capital firm, and you're the CEO. Most people treat their 401k like a boring HR document they sign during onboarding. I treat it like a heist. If your employer offers a 4% match and you don't take it, you are literally handing back a 100% return on your money. No stock, no crypto, and no side hustle will ever give you a guaranteed 100% return on day one.
Yet, billions of dollars in free money are left on the table every year because people would rather have the extra $200 in their paycheck today to buy things that lose value tomorrow. You are an investor extracting maximum return from a corporate partnership. Your salary funds your equity, and their benefits build your safety net. If you aren't maxing out the match, you aren't an employee. You're a donor to your company's bottom line.
Autopsy number 8. The status tax. Why does a plain white t-shirt cost $400? Because you're paying to be a walking billboard for a billionaire. Branded consumption is a tax on the insecure. A $1,200 designer hoodie and a $40 high-quality blank have the same utility. The $1,160 difference is the price you pay to signal to strangers that you have money to waste. It's circular logic that extracts wealth without delivering value. The people who are actually winning aren't the ones with the logos. They're the ones with the stealth wealth mindset. They drive the paid-off Toyota, while their brokerage account generates enough dividends to buy 10 Ferraris they'll never buy. Perform a cost-per-wear analysis on your closet. If you're paying $500 for a jacket you wear twice a year, that's $250 a day for a costume.
Autopsy number 9. The liquidity crisis. Financial stress is a cognitive performance killer. When you have $0 in the bank, your brain switches to survival mode. You stop making long-term strategic decisions because you're too busy solving the unsolvable equation of how to make $23 stretch until Friday. A $1,000 emergency fund is not savings. It's a cognitive performance enhancer. It buys you the brain space to make smart decisions instead of desperate ones. The system profits from your desperation. It counts on you needing the high-interest credit card when the tire pops or the cat gets sick. Your target is a $10,000 buffer. That is the price of peace of mind. Once you have that, you stop being a prey animal in the economic forest. You start being the auditor. You can afford to be patient. You can afford to wait for the right opportunity. You can afford to say no.
Autopsy number 10. The exit code. How do we stop the bleeding? We automate the wealth. The boring rich don't rely on willpower. Willpower is a finite resource that gets exhausted by 3 p.m. on a Wednesday. Systems, however, are infinite. There are 3 steps to the boring rich exit code. First, the direct deposit. You set up your payroll so that 20% of your check goes to a separate brokerage account before you ever see it. If you never see the money, you never miss it. Second, the sweep. Every Sunday night, look at your checking account. Anything over your $1,000 baseline gets swept into your emergency fund or your index fund. No thinking, no debating, just moving. Third, the index. Put 100% of your long-term savings into a low-cost total world stock market index fund. Stop trying to pick the next Tesla. Stop listening to your uncle's crypto tips. Just own the entire global economy and let time do the work. The goal is to be more boring than the system trying to excite you. The economy of 2026 wants you spending unconsciously. Algorithms are designed to trigger your impulses. Marketing budgets exist to manufacture your desire. Financing options remove the friction of not having enough money. Your only defense is awareness. Understanding what things actually cost, understanding what they're actually worth, and understanding the gap between those two numbers is the only way out. The 10 categories we autopsy today aren't evil. They're just tools. But right now, for most people, those tools are being used on them. If this math made you angry, good. That anger is the first step toward ownership. You can keep looking successful, or you can start being stable. You can't do both in the beginning. If you're tired of the get-rich-quick noise and want to join a community of people building boring, sustainable wealth, hit subscribe. We're just getting started.
Stop being a victim of the math. Start being the auditor. I'll see you in the next one.